before I actually get started on my impression of the meta, I wanted to give a huge shout out to my guild, especially SureShot for putting the group together, Hardstuck, and especially Plenix out of Hardstuck for putting the rest of the group together and helping lead, and then everybody watching my stream and being patient while I wasn't paying attention to chat at all. So thank you guys so much. And if you don't have a guild currently that's active, make sure to check the links down below, because I will have links for my guild Discord as well as Hardstuck. And also, I have a new VOD channel, so if you want to see the full fight and not just clips, that will be there. And I'll have that link in the description below as well. Yo, was that a skin? That, like, phoenix thing? Was that a mount? Let's get some things out of the way immediately. I don't want to see any comments about the nerf. I know it's already been nerfed, and I'm doing it now. So yes, I've done it after it's technically been nerfed. We know we don't need you to comment about it. I'm also not going to be talking about the difference in the Reddit community. I will say right now that my opinion as it stands is, regardless of if you're able to get a siege turtle or not, I don't think that you should say that you want the game refunded. I also think it's shitty to create a group to get people off of the map. And I also think people being really rude to each other over a game is stupid. So much fun. That's right, I was like, I kept saying the one in Icebird Saga, and I couldn't remember what the actual name of the map was. The Icebird Saga map is Drizzlewood, which I absolutely loved, and I'm going to be honest, when I started playing End of Dragons, because of the way the mega servers were, and everybody was already on Dragon's End map when I was going through the story, which I still haven't completed, it felt very lonesome. I would only see one or two people, and again, I know the reason why, but I play Guild Wars 2 to randomly come across an event and work with a bunch of other people, and I wasn't getting that, and so I was a little bit disheartened, and I took some breaks for other reasons as well, but that was kind of the main thing. And I was so excited, even for the beginning of the event, just getting onto the map and getting the extra buff for your HP and damage. Even going around the map with like 10 other people was a lot of fun, and it did remind me a lot of Drizzlewood. Oh, okay, cool. One thing I will mention with the buffs that you get from doing the events around the map is that you don't necessarily need a full 10 for every single person. It is recommended to be able to defeat Suwon as quickly as possible and make sure that even if a bunch of people die, you're good. But it's not totally necessary, and in my opinion, I did think there was enough time because I was on the map the whole time and we were putting groups together in our squad. The other thing that I thought was really cool was actually using the offensive protocols and the defensive protocols, and the fact that you could actually bring that and the way station to get the electroshock for the extra CC into the fight was really neat. I also really like that they tried to show off the siege turtle by having you use siege turtles for different portions of the events beforehand, as well as the meta once you get into it to break open the area to get where you need to go for Arena.
So we're gathering all of the possible magic we can. To do this event, I will
see, this is where things aren't going to go well for me.
I know all of you pretty much already.
You'll have to excuse my camera here. When I stream, I am literally in like the woods in Wisconsin surrounded by 12 acres of pine trees. So I can only upload at 3K bitrate, so it gets a little bit fuzzy. But one of the things that I did notice is that a lot of the other metas and just events that I've done, I haven't been around as many other people in such a small space, except for world bosses, and I didn't have as much of an FPS issue as I did here, and that obviously has quite a bit to do with my PC as well. But for certain things, I wasn't able to see, and I do mention it on the pre-event before you get to Suwon, and the event when you get to Suwon as well.
Suwon, stay back.
We have 3 people who are not in. Get in, guys. Also, it's time to stand. Please stay at the green tag most of the time. There will be some times where it might not be ideal.
Oh, she looks so
General
cool.
explanation of the mechanics. Everything which is orange usually means bad. Do not stand in the orange things. There's one particular attack which will be a shockwave. I will call it a shockwave. After Suwon will hit the ground, it will spawn a shockwave. You can jump it, you can dodge it. Just make sure you don't stand in the orange things. Also music up if you haven't done it already.
Did I mention how awesome Plenix was with his callouts? I actually spent most of the time fighting Suwon trying to figure out if his accent was a German accent. I'm not gonna lie. But I can see how if you don't have things coordinated, especially when you have to split off into lanes to split up with the different NPCs to get to Suwon and take care of the void and collect the magic, that it could be quite tricky. I can also see if when you're on the Suwon fight that you don't know what platform to go to when you have to jump into the air, and so that you don't die on the main platform, and fight the little mini bosses on the extra platforms. We actually had a little bit of an issue where a couple of bosses were getting killed too quickly, and one of them was the health was pretty high, but we ended up managing, and I definitely think that at least having someone who is knowledgeable about the fight doing callouts in Discord is really good. But I feel like once you've done the fight once, you don't necessarily need that anymore. And so if it continued to be groups of people that had farmed it and at least paid attention, it would be easier and easier, obviously.
This. You need to use your spacebar in order to reach the top end of the harvest temple, in order to reconnect with your body.
Rage at max.
So keep killing the ants. When you're reaching the top of the harvest temple, make sure you press space, then wait like a second, press it again. You don't want to spam it.
Anyway, I loved the fight. It was incredible, especially coming from Mythic raid leading in World of Warcraft and Savage raid leading in Final Fantasy XIV. This was definitely a step up from anything in open world, and I honestly think it was even a step up from different raid wings. I've only done 1 and 2 so far in Guild Wars 2, but it was even better than that. I'd say I can understand why people think they can't do it, for sure. Also coming from that background, I can see why you would want to reward the high-end content and the ability to do the high-end content, but I can also see why people would be upset with mounts being a collectible item that you normally got through story or achievements being locked behind a meta. With that said, I thought the fight was absolutely incredible. The having to stand in the green circles, to have the wisp phase, the swapping platforms reminded me a lot of Ramuh for Final Fantasy XIV, which I've actually talked about previously, because each player has their own responsibility standing in front of these poles that conduct electricity, and then the tank, for a certain part of this fight, would have to hold on to an item and use that item at the exact perfect moment while facing the boss, and then all of the other players get knocked back into their poles, and if one person misses it, the fight wipes from electricity. And I like that sense of responsibility, but I can also see why people would dislike that sense of responsibility, especially if they're not a player that would normally do metas like this, or someone who doesn't really care to raid either. I would definitely say, in the nicest way possible, that if you do want to try it, you definitely should at least once, and you definitely should with a good leader. And if you don't want to try it, don't feel forced to. Because if you have that mindset, then you're never going to perform the way you want to. In regards to my experience, I'm excited to do this almost daily for all of the loot that you get now from the loot table, and I also would love to keep learning more to be able to lead it, because that's one of my favorite things to do. And specifically for this fight, I think my favorite part, actually, was the RNG. I know they fixed it quite a bit, but I love having the tail up at the same time as having the thorn ad up, at the same time as almost having to break the bar on Suwon, with also the wave going across the platform, and also having to jump over like that big tidal wave thing that you have to jump over. So I thought it was cool. I loved every minute of it, and hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully you enjoy the kill at the end where I died from the whirlpools that I couldn't see. And yeah.
Okay, good. Now you need to leave the main platform because she's about to do that big damage again. Again, 2, 3, 4, we will go with me to south. 5, 6, 7, we will go top left, top right. Just choose one.
Oh, I went the wrong way, but it's alright.
If you're with me, the NPC will dash to the edge. Don't follow it, it will dash back. Very equal amongst all 3 bosses. That is looking really good.
Accelerate! The void will never leave us if we stand together.
Okay, we are the least doing damage right now. Try to slow down on the null ones, please. Stop doing damage.
Oh, I got hit by one finally. Lame.
It's gonna open and do more, but you know, this freeway split is not ideal for us. Yeah, just stop doing any damage on the northern events, please. Otherwise,
Okay.
it might actually better regenerate.
No damage.
We actually would need to kill it. Break it. Everything on this. The AoE also moved slightly towards the right side, so please move here as well. Break it. Everything on this. Good job. Alright. Yeah, phone hearts, shockwaves. Oh no. I'm gonna love this. And now it's time to burst. Okay, she's...
Get out of the way!
Alright. Okay, no tail yet. Phone hearts along the way. Again, we need to cleave them. Oh, tail is up. Oh, this is annoying. We need to kill the tail. We don't want to have 80% reduced damage on her. We want to have 100% damage. If you're guys stuck in a whirlpool, do not mash the first button. If you're stuck in a bubble, do mash the first button. Okay, she's moving to the other side. Okay, do I have white on the portal? I do. There you go. Okay, whirlpools. Try to
Oh, I got into that one.
We can break them, I guess. 4%, it's almost down. 3%. Don't get the tail now. Come on, don't do this, Suwon.
It's like, it's actually really hard with...
Okay. She really... She was really trolling.
It's actually really hard with everything that's going on to see the whirlpools. To be absolutely honest, like,
We got it.
because I saw them when,
The void is receding.
I saw them when we weren't all grouped up and all of the ads weren't out, but like when we were grouped up and the ads were out, like I could not see them at all.
Thought I would see this day. May the gods be praised.
Special thanks to all of my patrons, and if you would like to support the craft as well, I stream essentially every day on Twitch around 9 a.m. CDT, I believe it is now, but Central. And I also have a Patreon for if anyone wants to help make sure that I have the equipment to be able to stream, and I do this for a living, so it really is a big deal. So you can see a link to that at the top, and also one in the comments below. I hope to see you guys at the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.